Well, yet another first team player has had to leave Viborg for financial reasons. Again, fortunately, we've got them back on loan, but this time the sale hasn't even improved the bank balance. Yes, hello and welcome to part 6 of our second Rebuilding Scandinavia stint from Viborg with me, Daniel. We're back today for our first games after the winter break and quite a lot of transfer news too. Now there's a lot of excitement in terms of ins and future ins as we start to prepare for the summer. There's some contractual news, there's a lot of injury news, and there's also another big sale from the club. As you can see, in the last 2 months, we've been hemorrhaging money without football, without gate receipts, without all of the stuff that comes with it. And to sell a star player and not even improve our bank balance is a really concerning sign for me. We've got him back on loan till the summer, but we'll go and have a look at all that in a moment. If you're looking forward to the episode though, seeing what happened in a very busy January, then please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. But let's get straight into it because we had a busy month and the winter break actually works quite nicely because it does allow you to really focus on the transfer window. And courtesy of our scouts and our director of football, there are some very good players that have come in and will be coming into this football club. We will have to focus though on injuries because despite bringing a number of players in, we're not any better off in terms of numbers going into this game. We'll look at that in a moment. But let's start with the transfer news. We have got 2 players joining the club in the summer, one familiar, one not so much. Morten Behrens is the goalkeeper we have on loan from Darmstadt as it stands. He will be joining in the summer and as a squad goalkeeper as well. So he might not be good enough for the top tier if we can find a really good number 1. But he's a very solid person to have. So to have him in the squad either as 1 or 2 next year is great. He's agreed a deal on the same wage, 1.3 grand a week. So we really cannot complain at how we've managed to get him. 26 years of age, should improve and will hopefully be worth a bit more money than the free agent deal we're getting him for. The second one though is a masterstroke for me. A brilliant bit of work from the director of football to find them, a manageable wage as well, and an English player coming over to join me in Scandinavia. Hayden Carter is going to be a free agent from Blackburn. He's currently a very backup player in their squad, but he's a very good player by our standards. Now, it does give us a slight issue for half a season because we weren't able to directly replace Karamoko, who left in January for Auxerre. So we are a little short of centre-half. But in the summer, we're getting a very good player who's solid enough on the ball, 6'2", great in the air. I think it's about 2.5 grand a week, which is one of our highest paid players, but still, what a footballer, a good age, and another one we'll definitely make a profit on. So 2 very good ones to look forward to in the future, but now we've got a lot to reflect on in the past month. There are a few ins, but there are also some big name outs. We know that Benjamin Karamoko was leaving the club. He was a superstar centre-half, and unfortunately, he's going to be with Auxerre for the rest of the season. We lost our backup left-back Mungu, who went on a free, didn't really feature for us. 3 appearances he made, so no great loss in the grand scheme of things. But look at the man who's gone now. Wiliti Yanusa, 500 grand to Angers, another one off to France. He is a very solid young player and it is a shame to lose him. But he was also our highest paid player on over 3 grand a week. So we've got that off the wage bill. Not that you could tell from the finances screen, but we've got him back for the season. It basically means that we're going to have another big rebuild in the summer because we will have lost 3 players that we've had back on loan this year. But it's a good sale. It's a decent amount of money. He wasn't going to sign a new deal anyway. It made sense. Wiliti Yanusa off for $500,000, but he is back on loan to try and help us to the top tier. We've also got 4 other signings. You can see we're not spending any money on them. Couple of loans and a few free agents. Couple of them are good first teamers as well. We've looked for direct replacements. So we missed out on a number of targets. There were young players being pointed out who were out of contract. But one that we did get across the line was Per Egil Bernsen. He comes from Stabæk on a free. He's a 17-year-old Norwegian attacking midfielder. Can also play up front and more importantly in centre midfield. And he looks alright. 2-star ability, 5-star potential. And my thought process, to be honest, is with 5 subs in the league, Can we get him on the bench and get him 5-10 appearances before the end of the season? See if he develops, see if he progresses, and if so, we might well have a player on our hands. But for free, it was an absolute no-brainer. The second one that comes in is very much a first-team candidate, Magnus Karstrup. He is a free agent left winger who can also play off the right or in the number 10 role. He's a bit of a tricky, quicker, two-footed winger. He's got good technique. He likes to carry the ball. Decent finisher, decent first touch. And he's pretty much as good as Beck, if not slightly better. At the time, Beck was threatening to leave the club because we weren't signing good enough players. Then he ended that because we signed Karstrup. It's worked out today because it gives us a bit more flexibility. We never had a backup left winger and Beck's got awful natural fitness. We never had a backup to Rothman, the striker. He's now injured. So this guy has basically become a lifesaver. Under $2,000 a week, really good player, and got a contract to the end of the year with room to extend it too. So I am happy to have a player of his ability, a former Danish under-20 international, and most importantly, of all of the things and reasons we've signed him, he's come from Lyngby. Now, he was going to get released there anyway, but to steal someone who's been scoring 1 in 2 for your title rivals for the rest of the season is an absolutely beautiful move. And if we can go up to the top tier, having taken the best players from the second division, it gives us a good chance and a good future strategy. And the same applies in essence to Benjamin Fit. Now, he is a holding midfielder at 23 years of age, comes from AGF, so a bigger club in the top tier, a side we put out the cup this year, of course, but 3-star ability, 4-star potential, 2-footed, has got 100 senior games under his belt, can play in the holding role or centre mid. I'm looking at the fact that we're going to lose Janusa and Londvik in the summer. I'm looking at the fact that Gröning is going to be 33 at the end of the season in holding midfield. Mikel, we've got on an extended contract, but only till June, and he's now covering centre half, having lost Karamoko. Having someone like Vit in the team is a really solid acquisition, because if the worst happens next season and we get a great team in, he can be a backup and he'll be fine. Or if the worst happens, he should be able to keep us up in the top tier if he has to be a regular starter. So either way, I think we've got a good player. He's a solid pro. He never played youth international football, but for me, is a good signing. A bit worried about the natural fitness as a centre midfielder, but otherwise no complaints at all. And then the final one that you've not met before is Mikkel Denius. We needed to improve at right back and centre half in terms of squad depth, and where better to go than Copenhagen? They've given us Harbo, they gave us Parma, they even gave us Guadagno before he got injured. But Mikkel Denius is a right back who can also play centre half. 17 years of age, 2.5-star ability, 4.5 potential. Basically one of the perfect players to have on the bench. Really solid across the board and is adequate enough to step in, unlike some of the players we had on the bench earlier in the season. So I'm really happy with the players we've brought in. Frustrated we've had to sell another, but I understand the reason. And realistically, if we hadn't had to sell Londvik, this would have been a really good season of transfers. As it is, there's a little bit of frustration to come, but I'm really happy with the work overall. So with that done, let's have a look at the medical centre and see what's going on at the moment. We've got Jakob Bonda at the bottom right, just returning from an injury, but he's not in great shape. We're not going to play him today. If we look at the current injuries though, Mikkel Denius out for 3 to 5 weeks straight away. I basically misjudged the second pre-season after the winter break, and it's caused all sorts of chaos. Rothman's out for a couple of weeks, Lauritsen is out for a couple of weeks, and what that means if we look at the schedule is that the first 2 games that we're going to see hopefully today to finish off this month, they're not going to feature. So we've got Jammerbugt today, followed by Nykobing, who are much further up the table. And it's going to be a really important couple of games for us because we're a little bit undercooked in some areas, and obviously we've got injury problems. There are big players coming into the league. You can see Vejel there. I've paid 600 grand for someone. There's been a little bit of improvement from other sides. But actually, if anything, Lyngby have lost more players than us, and they've ended up losing one of them to us directly. So we should really be able to wrap up promotion now. It's just then what happens when we go up and lose all the players we've got on loan. At the moment though, a 7-point lead, a healthy goal difference. Albeit our closest challengers have got the bottom side in the league, who have only picked up the 1 point this season. We'd fancy our chances of staying on top, and we start that with the first game after the winter break. 350 fans through the gate, which shows the difference in size of clubs. That's why they're in the bottom half, but they have got a 17-year-old Marcel de Jong, who's a very good young striker. He's on loan from Odense, and we have looked at him, because he is out of contract in the summer. So maybe he's someone we'll be able to get in. But let's go and pick our lineup, get into the first game after winter, and hopefully we can pick up 3 points. This is the side that we've gone for. The match loads and the conditions are all over the place. We've not managed to get it right. We've got 7 subs, including 2 that are very tired because we've not judged when the friendlies are going to be for the reserve side. But the 11 strong and fully fit. So we have got Behrens in goal, and Yembi and Frank are the fullbacks, and Yembi unhappy we didn't let him leave. Carlson and Felix Mikel centre-half. He signed an extension to the end of this season, then he will probably be off at the age of 30. We've got Grunin, Lundvik and Janusa, the midfield 3. Saeed, Karstrup on the left, and Tobias Beck up front, because Rothman out injured for the next couple of weeks, and we are probably going to miss him quite badly. We've got Fit, the new signing, on the bench with Bernston, but then Palmer, Harbo and Bonda, the regular names. No real defensive options, no real striking options, just a whole big bunch of midfielders. So let's go and get into it, see how we get on. What do you think of the January work in the comments, and do you think we're going to win the league? Right then, hard to judge the changes and the lineups, because obviously it's the first game that's not a friendly for a while. But we are coming up against an okay side, and a side that have probably performed above expectations given the size of the club and the reputation of the squad. We're going to get the lads motivated for the first half though. We've still tried to keep a fairly tall team. We've still tried to keep as strong a one as possible, but I don't know how it's going to pan out on the pitch. Let's see, as we're 5 minutes gone, it's been quiet. Hopefully we'll grow into the game quite quickly. Well, a quiet 18 minutes, but we are back with a free kick, which our centre-half Tobias Karlsson is on. Oh, hits the post. It's the outside and goes wide. But he has got that set-piece speciality, so we would have expected him to hit the target. Very close, but at the moment, Nykobing winning, Lyngby behind at the bottom of the league side, and we're struggling here. So it looks like pre-season has had an effect on some, as Franca picks the ball up on the left-hand side to Karstrup. Of course, that left side of the defence is so much weaker than we'd normally have it. Larridson is our main set-piece specialist, who's now out. So we are a little bit depleted in key areas. So we've got it at the back again with Mikel. Wide to Dominic Frank. And Karstrup, the new man. Can he produce something on his debut? To Mikel. Back to the keeper. There is no rush to get the ball forward here. We're just trying to get composed. Keep the ball, get our opposition tired. As Lundvik finds Grunin. To Mikel. It's got to go forward eventually. Carlson to Lundvik. Who's going to unlock the door? Grunin, wide to Karstrup. The new man switches the play. Saeed's got in behind his fullback. Oh, it's a lovely dink, but just wide of the post. It was always a tough angle as Lyngby equalised too. And we could end up losing ground at this rate because we've been the better side, but it's not been dominant. And we've not really looked like opening the scoring. As Mikel gets it to Grunin here late in the first half. Through to Justin Lundvik. Just wide of the post again. Beats the keeper. Looked like he just slid it in beautifully. Unfortunately, it got just too much on it. And it ends up going wide. We've had less possession, but dominance everywhere else. So let's get into the second half. And hopefully, eventually, we'll grind this side down. As Tobias Karlsson chips a free kick in. Mikel loses out in the air. Karlsson picks it up again though. Right hand side of the box. Crosses in. Beck's at the front post. And Tobias Beck. Up front filling in today, not his natural position, but actually he's expending a bit less energy and he's got a bigger aerial threat than Rothman. It shows there to nick us a 1-0 lead. That is a really important goal in the context of our season, and even more so now because Lyngby have just taken the lead as well. You'd expect them to go on and win their game, so to go 1-0 up is a lovely sign. Half an hour to go, we'll think about subs in a minute. Right, we're into the last quarter, so I'm going to see who we can replace. And Yembi's actually picked up a knock, so I'm going to have to take him off. I'm going to bring on Palmer and drop Saeed to right back. He can't play there, but he can play wing back. We're going to take off a nervous Grunin, who's going to be replaced by the new man Witt. We're also going to take off Karstrup maybe on debut, but have I got anyone who can really play off the left? I could put Lundvik out there and then take Karstrup off, but it's a risk, isn't it? So for now, I'll probably leave that. I could do with taking off Franca at left back, but Bonda isn't quite fit either. So I'm going to leave it at 2 for now. In 10 more minutes, we'll make more changes, but let's get the job done first. Goal kick for the host now. Long ball downfield. Are we going to see them start to go for it? It's got to happen eventually, hasn't it? As Beck picks the ball up to Karstrup. Just thought I could put Beck out on the left and bring on the new man as a striker. As Karstrup's shot tipped over the bar. It's the first little bit of magic we've seen from him there. It almost unlocks the door, and he's now on corner taking duty too. In swinger from the left-hand side. Up to the back post, Carlson wins the header. Straight at the keeper again. 16 minutes remaining. We will make more changes in a sec, because I think we want to keep fresh. Almost treat this like the last friendly. So we're going to bring on Bonder at left-back for Franker. He can do 12 minutes. We're also going to take off Karstrup, put Beck on the left, and put Bergston, the new man, up front. And then Harbo will come on for Lundvik in the middle. Let's just see this game out. It's still a very good team with 10 minutes to go. All of our rivals in the top 4 winning, so we've got to make sure we get over the line. Well into 4 minutes of stoppage time now, and we're back with a throw on the right. That attacking threat, that big push forward hasn't really come from our host today. So at the moment, if we can keep possession, it will be job done. Yunusa trying to make it better, goes right to Palmer, gets in behind with his pace off the bench, cuts it back to Harbo, the substitute, to the edge of the box to Weliti Yunusa. Good save by the goalkeeper. Out for a corner kick. Thank goodness we've got a week off after this, because look at the state of the fitness for those remaining on. Saeed takes the corner kick. It's something I'm going to have to learn from for next season, is how to manage that winter break, because we haven't done it well this year. And we've really got away with it by playing a weaker team first. It is a 1-0 win. It probably should have been more, but it's job done. It's 3 points, and we'll be back next week for a much tougher test against Nykobing, who are in third. And it is fitness test time ahead of the Nykobing game. A side up in third space. Second place Lyngby have won their game, so they are 4 points behind now. And of course, we're not far from the league split. And then when the top 6 start to play each other every week, we're not going to have those easy games, which makes it an awful lot tougher. We haven't quite got Lauritsen or Rothman back to fitness yet, although it does suggest Rothman could make the bench. But let's go and have a look at our lineup for this one. Hopefully, be fairly similar. Fingers crossed we can get a result. Well, I think it's time for another debutant from the start, don't you? So we've taken out the experienced Groening and brought in Witt in the holding role. I think he's going to be first choice before too long. We've also managed to get Rothman on the bench. That's in place of another defender. But the rest of the team stays exactly the same. We need to be a bit more ruthless, which is hard without our star striker. But hopefully we can find a route to win today. Home comfort's back, over 4,000 through the gate. And boy, do we need the money from those fans. Let's go and submit the team. Into it we go. If we lose it, the title race is very much back open. 2 changes for our visitors. Their manager's Klaus Jensen. The Klaus Jensen, is it? What a man he used to be. Former Charlton player. I remember him brilliantly. Through the dressing room, most of the lads motivated. Klaus Jensen, I've got a soft spot for you, but I'm not letting you get 3 points here. Well, it's been an awful half an hour here. We're back for the first time as we've got an injury at right back to Anyembi again. Picked a knock up in the last game. And again, the only real option is Saeed to right back and Palmer on the wing, but I'd like to wait till half time if possible. Suggesting a bruised shin, so it's not an injury that should get worse like last week's. So we'll just leave it for now. It's been a terrible half. We have been a better side, again, despite having less possession. But with Lyngby having one already, we don't want to drop points. So it's a corner kick in. And that is what we need to rely on in times like this. We've not got the star striker. We're not creating those openings from normal play. So to score a goal from a header or a set piece is always very much appreciated. Carlson on the end of that one. Good delivery by Karstrup, the new left winger. And we're 1-0 up, despite there not being much in this one. Though straight from the kickoff, Nykobing come forward. Vold picks it up front. We've got loads of bodies behind the ball, although it's in behind to Carlson on the right. The 2 Carlsons on the pitch have both scored in the space of a minute. 42 minutes of hard work to get yourself ahead from a set piece, and then you give it away in 30 seconds like that. It's just not good enough. And that's Frank at the backup left back, just getting caught out of position. Mikel left centre half, just getting caught out of position. We've lost quality in that area. And it showed in that move. As Jakobsen gets it at the back. We could be behind if it gets any worse. Kikito in the middle to Christensen. Through ball intercepted to Yunusa in the centre circle. Back to Mikel, the centre half, and Carlson. Time in possession. Goes wide to Anyembi. And he goes back to his keeper. Maybe not the worst move at this stage of the half. Frank picks it up at left back to Karstrup and Yunusa. Through ball to Beck. He's in 1-on-1. Not a natural position for him. But he looked so composed when he got in behind. Slots it round the keeper into the far corner. Perfect finish into the side netting. And it is the perfect time to score. We just go ahead on the stats with that shot. And we also go ahead by 2-1. So ask the lads to prove a point in the second half. Hopefully we can find a way to hold on. Well, after a dramatic end to the first half with 3 goals in 4 minutes, we do have a slightly quieter start to the second. 8 minutes in and we're back in possession with Mikel. Finds Carlson at the back and Anyembi. Wide to Saeed. Support inside from Lundvik, who's had a quiet one so far. Turns his man inside out there though. Through ball towards Janusa. Flicked on for Beck. Lovely first touch on the chest. Shot saved by Frankie. Behind for a corner kick. Can we take advantage of set pieces again? I want to get another goal up so we can take Anyembi off, but it doesn't look likely at the minute. The corner's headed clear. We've got 3 back, so should be alright. And it just peters out. But we're back. There's a free kick for our visitors, just inside their own half. Long ball forward, which is flicked on, and Behrens can hoof it downfield. Chasing his Beck, but he's not going to get there. Kamado picks it up at the back. Jakobsen. Time to find Thorgerson. They do look the more confident side in possession, Nykobing. I've got to give them that. But at the moment, they're just not able to get in behind often enough. Here's Carlson, though, the man who did late in the first half. Gets to the byline, crosses deflected. Janusa loses out in the air. Wins it second time to Karstrup, though. He gives it away in his own half. Christensen, through to Gert. 1-on-1, great save from Behrens. We do not look confident in this game. We've made a few mistakes defensively. We've given the ball away in poor areas. But at the moment, we're getting away with it. Kakito's corner, headed away by Lundvik. But Nykobing, the first side to move into double figures for shots. And at the moment, I'd say we're clinging on a bit. So let's go and make some subs after this highlight. You know my superstition. Behrens with a goal kick downfield. Headed away as far as Karstrup. Can he take his man on the left? Stands him up. Goes back to Franca. Not really got any support, so just plays short to Karstrup again. He finds Janusa, chipped up towards Lundvik, who gets his way in behind. And that is a great finish. Little dink over the keeper, just enough power to beat the defender rushing back. With a quarter of the game to go, it is 3-1 to Viborg. And now we can make substitutions. And Anyembi will be replaced by Palmer, with Saeed dropping to right back. I'd ideally like to take him off as well, to be honest. And in fact, I'm going to take Saeed off. I'll put Carlson right back and Bonda alongside Mikel at centre half. We've also got changes in midfield. Witt has made his debut. Now we need the experience of Grunin. We're going to leave it at 3 subs for now, but it will not be long before the other 2 are made. And we'll judge it based on fitness. Well, into the last 15 minutes, and if you look at the stats now, it's actually starting to look like a bit of a smash and grab, and it might not be over yet. And Mon has missed a pretty straightforward header from 6 yards out, as we're back with a corner from Carlson, into the front post, bobbling around all over the place. And we're unlucky not to get another. I'm going to make the last 2 changes. Janusa and Karstrup knackered. On will come Bergston. There's no need to risk Rothman here, and Harbo who'll replace Janusa. 10 minutes left, we should see it out. But Nykobing have given us one hell of a scare. They probably deserved a point, to be honest. Having said that, we're into the final 2 minutes and we are still up by 3-1. Long ball forward is aimless. Kamado brings it down for Mortensen. Out to Glessin on the right-hand side. He works himself down the line here. Space to run into. Gets the ball into the box. Christensen's header's in. 3-2. 1 minute plus stoppage time. Let me just get on the time wasting because that is a little bit of a scare. Can we cling on? 2 minutes remaining. It looks like it's job done. A 3-2 win against one of the rivals at the top. A big one after Lyngby had got their 3 points. Let's see when we're next going to be back and where that leaves us. 7 points clear at the top and Nykobing maybe just out of sight now. So after a busy January and our first 2 games back, I think we're going to wait now for the Lyngby game, which is the last one before the league split. Then who knows who we're going to be facing, but it will be a top side. But that game, if both teams keep winning, could prove to be very crucial in making this tense or comfortable for us, one or the other. If you're looking forward to finding out though, and you did enjoy this episode, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know what you think of the transfer and financial situation. I'm hoping we can get promotion to the top tier and that will solve the problem. We'll wait and see as the next few months unfold. If you want to see as well, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. Daily FM22 content, you can find all the key playlists up in the eye above. And above my head now, I'll put the top 3 playlist. Please do give it a try if you haven't already. And I'll see you here again next time for a big game at the top as we face Lyngby and then head into the league split. I'll see you there.